In this Android Tooltime Pro tip, I'm going to show you some Android Studio expert tips to keep you in the zone and increase your productivity. You're probably already familiar with some of the most common shortcuts, turning on automatic importing of unambiguous class names, pressing Shift twice to search everywhere, or using Shift F6 to rename a variable, method, or class. So we'll skip past those and try something a little more nuanced than that. Here I need to change the duplicated method to set latitude. I can bring up autocomplete to make life easier with Control Space, but when I select the right method, it annoyingly inserts a new method in front of the old one. Unless I hit Tab instead, in which case it'll replace the old method with the new one. Similarly, if I hit Control Shift Space, I get only suggestions of the expected type. And after I make the selection, hitting Tab will replace the old value. For both Control Space and Control Shift Space, hitting the shortcut a second time will suggest auto-completion options based on chained expressions, collections, lists, and arrays. You already know how to navigate your code using the cursor keys and using Alt left and right to skip across words and holding Shift to select them. But did you know you can use Alt up to extend your selection to the next containing node, and Alt down to correspondingly shrink your selection? Once selected, use Alt Shift up or down to move the code. Use postfix code completion to transform an already typed expression into another one, such as creating a for loop over a list or turning an expression into an if statement. You can use Command J to see all the valid postfixes for a given context. For more complex patterns, use live templates to insert templated code snippets. For example, using a toast shortcut makes it easy to add a new toast where you only need to specify the text to display. There are dozens of generic and Android-specific live templates, including a selection of logging shortcuts, including logm that inserts the current method name and the name and value of each parameter passed into it. Easier log statements are great for debugging, but did you know you can also set conditional breakpoints that can log the output of expressions? It's also possible to define a custom rendering for objects while you're evaluating expressions, rather than relying on their toString values. There are so many handy features in Android Studio that it's easy to forget all their shortcuts. Luckily, you just need to remember one, Command-Shift-A, and start typing keywords to find them. For example, the structural search feature lets you search for code patterns without resorting to regular expressions. If you enable structural search inspection, and borrow a mouse, you can even provide warnings around methods and syntax that you wish to discourage within your code. Similarly, you can use the structural replace feature to find and replace deprecated code or common anti-patterns, and use structural search inspection here to offer a replacement snippet as a quick fix option. There are hundreds of tips and tricks to make your Android Studio experience faster, more productive, and mostly mouse-free. Subscribe to Android Developers on YouTube and tune in to Android Tooltime for more Android Tooltime Pro tips.